Welcome to the Animals. I'm the Masked Marauder, Megabucks.
And I'm the triumphant thief Tycoon.
On today's episode of Disney Showdowns, Aladdin takes on Jafar.
Now, before we start the showdown, I have to know, does anyone else think that Jafar is Scar's stunt-double? Because they literally look the same, in spite of the fact that one of them's a lion and the other's a human.
Oh yeah, they have the same arched eyebrows, the same heavy eyelids, and the same villainous expressions. Even their personalities are the same. I think the similarity has to have been done on purpose. Think about it. Not only do Jafar and Scar rhyme, they were both also animated by the same person, Disney animator Andreas Deja. And, to top it all off, The Lion King was released right after Aladdin. Coincidence? I think not.
So back to the showdown. What did you think of Jafar versus Aladdin?
I think Jafar and Aladdin were pretty well matched, even though the movie makes you think that Jafar has the clear advantage. Think about it. Jafar is a palace official with money, power, and connections. He also moonlights as an amateur magician, and has a considerable amount of magic at his disposal. He can hypnotize people with his staff, for God's sake. And he's also great at disguising himself. I mean, if you look at the footage, he seems to use the same disguise as Esmeralda does in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And on top of all of that, Jafar is clever, sneaky, and a great liar. And he's able to skillfully manipulate other people.
Yeah, and that's all before he turns into a genie/sultan/world's greatest sorcerer. Jafar has it all, while Aladdin is just an orphan street rat who can't even afford to buy a real shirt.
It's true, Aladdin doesn't have anything, except the one thing Jafar desperately needs, the lamp.
Yeah, it really sucks for Jafar, because he worked so hard to try and get to the lamp. We've all questioned Jafar's taste in eyeshadow, or laughed at his obsession with mascara, but none of us can say Jafar isn't a hard worker. I mean, he didn't get to be the royal vizier by sitting around and playing poker with the guys on the weekends.
Definitely! Jafar works around the clock. First, he gets up at 5 a.m. every morning to do his day job as the royal vizier. Sure, he's only supposed to be advising the Sultan, but let's face it, Jafar probably ends up doing all the work.
Yeah, the Sultan's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. He's the ruler of a country, sure, but he'd rather be playing with stuffed animals. And Jafar didn't even hypnotize him into being childish. That's just who the Sultan is.
Exactly. So here's Jafar, who's been working on important matters of state since 5 in the morning. He's tired. He's hungry. It's 3 in the afternoon. It's freaking hot in the desert and there are no air conditioners. After what seems like a lifetime, his 30-minute lunch break finally rolls around. Now if I were Jafar, I'd use my lunch break to grab a meal, plug in some headphones, and chill on Spotify. But does Jafar do that? No! He goes down to the dungeons to pore over some scrolls. He tries to locate the Cave of Wonders, hires a thief to steal the lamp. Maybe he gets in a few bites of his shawarma before he's back at his desk. And then, once the workday ends, he's back in the dungeons, working on his passion, which is finding the lamp. Talk about dedication.
Yeah, Jafar has a type A personality. He's also a micromanager. I mean, he's got Iago to help him out. Maybe they could split up the workload, but no, Jafar has to do everything himself. He always has precise instructions for Iago to follow, but he never lets Iago do his own thing.
Which is a shame, because Iago has all this pent-up anger directed at the Sultan. If Iago could channel his anger, like Darth Vader did, Iago could become a force to be reckoned with. And Iago's got one thing Vader never had, the element of surprise. No one expects a dumb parrot to take over Agrabah, that's for sure.
So maybe that's why Jafar keeps Iago on a tight leash. If Jafar doesn't keep Iago in check, he might have been replaced years ago. And then this video would have been called Aladdin versus Iago.
Speaking of Aladdin, his greatest quality is that he's incredibly quick on his feet. He can outthink and outrun just about anybody, and it's great to see him use his wits to outsmart his enemies. I mean, Aladdin does exactly what Scar was supposed to do, which was intelligently trick his adversary.
Yeah, Aladdin actually used his brain to get out of some pretty sticky situations. He used psychological warfare on Jafar, and managed to defeat him, even when Jafar became the most powerful genie-sorcerer hybrid of all time.
Gotta admire Aladdin for that. We're 10 minutes away from the end of the movie, and Jafar has suddenly become the most powerful being in the universe. It's like, what can you do at this point? Where can you go from here? Jafar's a genie, he's a sorcerer, he got Jasmine to French him. I mean, what's left? What more can Jafar take from Aladdin?
I guess Jafar should have asked Genie to make him the smartest sorcerer of all time. Then Aladdin couldn't have outsmarted him. And then Jafar would have won that round.
I think Jafar thought he already was the smartest sorcerer of all time, which was the dumbest mistake ever.
You know what I'm worried about? Now that Jafar has been relocated to that tiny living space in the lamp, what's gonna happen the next time somebody rubs it? There's gonna be hell to pay.
Yeah, in fact, Genie says, 10,000 years in the Cave of Wonders ought to chill him out. Well, it's been a few millennia, and somebody right now, at this very moment, could be in that cave, rubbing that lamp, and now we're all screwed.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aladdin.
So, Megabucks, who wins this round?
I'm pretty torn about this, because I want hardworking people to be rewarded, and I was really rooting for Jafar. Like all of us, Jafar had hopes and dreams. But unlike a lot of us, Jafar worked his butt off to try and make his dreams come true. And even succeeded for 5 whole seconds before smarty hair and pants Aladdin sauntered in and destroyed Jafar's life.
Jafar tripped at the finish line, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, we gotta call him like we see him, and the better man won.
Aladdin, you've just been declared the winner of episode 9 of Disney Showdowns. Please call the Animoguls hotline to pick up your prize.
And that concludes today's episode of Disney Showdowns. While you're waiting for next week's episode, why not check out another episode where Sleeping Beauty takes on sleep? As always, thanks for watching The Animoguls.